Welcome to evokeAG. Welcome back. It is so exciting now to welcome our first Future Young Leader, which is part of the Future Young Leaders program in evokeAG. I can actually see a number of our Future Young Leaders sitting down the front right now, so you can give them a rock star round of applause, please, our Future Young Leaders. Very good, strategically positioned. Future Young Leader Matt Anderson is a third-generation cattle farmer from the Liverpool Plains. He loved the farm growing up, but then the bright lights of Sydney and a very lucrative law firm took its grip, but just for a few years. Fortunately, he has found purpose and connection in agriculture, and he's back with us, thank God. The question that keeps Matt up at night: how do we translate the exciting and the ambitious work coming into the market and make it practically implementable? Can you please welcome Matt Anderson?
Several years ago, I was undertaking my legal career and I was playing for a university rugby team. Now, I was a pretty average rugby player, but the team had managed to make its way to the grand final. And on the eve of that game, we got together for a few final messages. Now, if you've played a team sport before, you might be familiar with the scene. We were packed into this small room. Nerves and excitement level was high. We're all expecting our captain to step forward in the middle of the circle and deliver this rousing Al Pacino warlike speech. But instead, he shared a pretty simple message. Don't get left behind. His speech went to this idea that as a team, we were going to play a really high-quality, fast-paced, well-executed game. In fact, that wasn't just the expectation, that was the standard. That was what was going to happen. The challenge, though, was to the individual. Any failing to meet that expectation, anyone who fell behind from the team, anyone who made errors, well, that was on the individual. So don't be the one to be left behind. Of course, I didn't find out till sometime later that he had stolen that entire speech from a professional sports person. Nonetheless, it was a powerful message and we did go on to win the game. You might be able to see that when I made my application to the evokeAG Future Young Leaders program several months ago, I thought about whether this idea might be applicable in Australian agriculture. We are right in the midst of a dramatic transition, a disruption, if you will. Rapid innovation is occurring across all aspects of the value chain. World-changing technologies and innovations are flowing from our entrepreneurs and our R&D organisations. We're setting these bullish targets on sustainability and reducing our environmental impact. And all of this is to occur within less than the next decade. It seems fitting then to draw on this don't get left behind philosophy. However, this is not that speech. You see, while it's true to say that we are indeed in this fantastic period of innovation, the wheels of change are well and truly in motion, we are progressing towards an exciting new digital era, and indeed there are some pretty well-known challenges around the adoption of these ag technologies. We as an industry have a tendency to see this from a very top-down approach. All too often, we seem to operate in this system where startups, research, policy, and the like, they're created up here and then they're pushed down to farmers with an expectation of adoption, who need to get on board, who need to keep up. Yet that perspective doesn't play true to the reality of how our agriculture system operates and evolves. Change begins on the farm. The very evidence of our progress, of our transformation as an industry, is shown through the practice changes made by farmers and the flow-on effects down the supply chain. Through the implementation of new technologies into existing farming systems, and through the growth of our collective knowledge about the challenges which exist and which are to come. I truly believe this, so much so that after several years of practicing as a solicitor in Sydney, I left behind the legal world. I returned to my farming community in northwest New South Wales and I took a job at Farmers to Founders, where I lead national projects that support farmers and industry and tech companies around the adoption of technology. And I've come to see that viewing this adoption process as simply an individual responsibility is a trap. I am lucky enough to have a foot in both camps. I work with fantastic new entrepreneurs and startups who are developing fantastic solutions. And at the same time, I can spend my days talking over the fence, having a yarn at the pub, playing sport with the other farmers in my area. And from where I stand, there is too much of a focus on patting each other on the back or getting excited by the pace of change, and not enough being done to bring farmers along with those changes. There is not enough of a focus from early stage startups on learning from farmers and understanding the problems that they really face. There is not enough of inclusion of farmers and their advisors in the development of research priorities or the defining of industry initiatives. There is not enough of a focus on building capability or providing advice or services or training for farmers about how these technologies are actually going to be used on the farm. So, my pre-game speech of sorts to you today is really to say, don't leave our farmers behind. Don't fall into the trap of getting swept up in the excitement and the drama of the changes that are afoot in our industry and overlook the importance of ensuring that our farmers are engaged and supported in that process. Don't see farmers at the bottom of some sort of hierarchy or a sales funnel. Get some dirt on your boots, pick up the blower, be willing to listen to the needs and the challenges of our farmers. Because the truth is, if we allow our farmers to be left behind in the digital transformation of our industry, then we are all behind where we could be and indeed where we need to be. Thank you.